Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, we are talking about Synchrons. One of the best decks, well, at least in terms of receiving support from the latest update, and honestly, it's one of the decks that could be considered a top tier threat, even excluding the Synchro event, which, by the way, is also coming up, and this is one of the best decks for that event. So let's quickly talk about it and talk about why it's so good. First and foremost, it received Stardust Synchron, which is another level 4 tuner for the deck that is a Synchron, a Stardust, and can special summon itself. All of which are incredibly useful for just any Synchro spam deck. So all in all, very, very nice inclusion. On top of that, we have Junk Speeder, the card that really makes this deck shine. Basically, when it's Synchro summoned, you can special summon up to 5 tuners. Absolutely crazy. We are not playing enough tuners to really facilitate that. We can special summon up to 4, but most of the time, 3 is good enough because your zones will probably be clogged. But all in all, this card is absolutely crazy. You gain so much advantage off of this, and this really turns it into a high power level deck. However, this card is severely hindered by the, Ash Blossom. If your opponent Ash Blossoms you just kind of stop. There's not a lot more that you can do after that. But all in all, if it resolves, it's one of the best cards in the entire game. Moving on, let's talk about the card by card. We have Jet Synchron. It special summons itself, and it's a level 1 tuner. We have Cyber Synchron. It's also a level 1 tuner, and it can also modulate its level, which is very nice. We're playing one Necro Synchron as our other level 2 tuner, which can increase the level of another monster by 2 levels, which is very, very nice. We are playing triple Junk Synchron. This card's absolutely crazy, and we're actually playing about 10 copies of this card through various other means. This card is the best normal summon in the deck. It special summons a level 2 from the grave, and yeah, that's basically all you need. On top of that, we are playing our Stardust Synchron. We are playing one Fire Ant Ascator because of Dawnwalker, and then we are also playing one Destrudo, and of course Ash Blossom. So those are all of our tuners. Moving on to the non-tuners, we have Doppel Warrior. When you special summon a monster from the graveyard, you can special summon this guy from the hand. He is a level 2, and that is the most important. On top of that, you can special summon 2 Doppel tokens if he is used as Synchro material. Meaning, if you use your Junk Synchron, normal summon out, or special summon from the grave, or something like that, a Doppel Warrior, you go into a 5, something like your Junk Speeder, all of a sudden you get 2 more additional tokens that are non-tuners that are very useful. Seeing as how this guy can only go into tuners, it's very nice to get some non-tuners to go into other extra deck monsters. We're also playing at Caliga Claw Crow, which can special summon itself if you have a dark monster and is a non-tuner. Junk Converter can add a Synchro monster by discarding a tuner and itself, and is a level 2. On top of that, it can, if it's used as Synchro material, special summon back a tuner monster from your deck from your graveyard that was in there while it was used as Synchro material. So very solid, and this is copies 4, 5, and 6 of the Junk Synchron. We are also playing the Fire Ant Ascator Dawnwalker. This card discards a card to special summon itself as well as the Fire Ant Ascator, and since it's a 5 and a 3, that gives us an 8, allowing us to go into our Chaos Ruler. We are also playing one Nibiru. And then the triple Maxi, obviously. And Maxi is also very good because you could discard it, and then you have a 2, and then you could just normal summon a Junk Synchron, and then go for the entire combo, which is very nice. So, all in all, very solid. We're playing one Monster Reborn because we draw a lot of cards, and honestly, having a Monster Reborn to reborn one of our monsters to go for more Synchro plays is very, very nice. On top of that, we are playing one Reinforcement of the Army, which is copy 7 of our Junk Synchron. We are playing triple tuning, which is copies 8, 9, and 10 of Junk Synchron. We are also playing a Synchro Overtake, which is copies 11 and 12 of Junk Synchron. You just have to reveal Junk Warrior. We are also playing 2 Called by the Grave and 2 Forbidden Droplets. Moving on to the extra deck, we are playing one Formula Synchron, which is just a draw card when it is special summoned, as well as a level 2, so you can send 2 level 1s to the grave to clear up some field. We're also playing one Martial Metal Marcher, very good. You send a 2 and a 1, and then you're able to Synchro Summon this guy. pretty solid. He also special summons another tuner from the grave. We were playing Herald of Arclight, a level 4, not Omni Negate, very, very solid. The one Junk Warrior because of Synchro Overtake. Oftentimes you don't actually need the Junk Warrior itself, but more so just for the Synchro Overtake. We are playing one TG Hyper Librarian because it is limited to one, and in all honesty, should probably have been banned for this event. You will draw a million cards off of this. You just draw a card whenever a monster is Synchro summoned. That includes the opponent's monsters. So that's kind of crazy. We're playing one Jet Warrior for the same reason as Junk Warrior, and it basically is to special summon off of Synchro Overtake the Jet Synchron. We're playing one Junk Speeder. This card is absolutely crazy and wins you the game because you're able to special summon a whole bunch. Unless your opponent has Nibiru, you kind of just win if this card resolves. We're playing one Stardust Charge Warrior. Absolutely crazy card, just draws you a card, and with TG Hyper Librarian, that is a Pot of Greed. We're playing one Shooting Riser Dragon. It's a level 7, which is mostly why we're playing it, but it can also Synchro Summon on your opponent's turn. We're playing one Stardust, as it is a level 8, and it's easy to go into, and it's pretty decent if your opponent is playing something like Raigeki or what have you. Yeah, just an overall solid card. We're playing one Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. It's an Omni Negate that can also get very, very large and attack over a lot of things. We're playing Chaos Ruler. This card is absolutely mandatory in this deck. It's insane. It allows you to go for a myriad of additional plays and really facilitates the Ascator line. You just reveal reveal the top 5 cards, and then you can add either a dark or a light monster from among them. Very, very solid. We also have a Red Dragon Archfiend. Basically, if you have a 1 and this guy, you can go into this one, which is very, very nice. It's a more or less an Omni Negate. You target a face-up card on the field, negate its effects as a quick effect, so you could even negate something like a Raigeki or a Lightning Storm or whatever it may be. Very, very nice. We're playing one Stardust Warrior. I never summoned it, but it's kind of okay. And then one Baron de Flor. This card is absolutely crazy. An Omni Negate and a card destruction. Just very, very solid card. That's it for the deck. Let's hop into the replays and see how this deck actually performs. Before we hop into the duels, let me just say that over 80% of the people who watch my content aren't subscribed. So if you find yourself coming back on the regular, you can always subscribe. And if you end up finding that you don't like the content anymore, you can always unsubscribe later. It's free. It's fun. And it allows me to continue making content for you guys on the daily. So, if you like the content, consider subscribing. Anyway, let's hop into the duels. Alright, so here in the first duel, I'm actually playing against one of my viewers that comes in during the streams. And as you can see, they are playing the same deck. Now, the reason I chose this one is because of the fact that they are playing the same deck. So you'll basically get to see 2 different versions of the same combo, but it will give you a general sense of how the combo works itself. And it's just a really solid duel, nonetheless. So my opponent is going to go first. They are going to activate Tuning. I'm going to say, no, I'm going to Ash Blossom that, hoping that they don't have another follow-up. But given how consistent it is to have an additional follow-up, I'm not surprised to see the Junk Converter come down. So they go Junk Converter, sending a Junk Synchron to add a Junk Synchron. They're going to go Junk Synchron here, activate to target the Junk Converter, and then go for a 5 here. They're going to go for Junk Speeder here, and they will go for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So they are notably playing another Synchron that isn't Junk, in Steam Synchron, as well as Quick Draw. Quick Draw is a really solid card. I mean, you could play it. In all honesty, I don't think it's necessary. There isn't a lot of times where you want a level 5 tuner, so it's not all that big of a deal. Yeah, there you go. They are going to add to their hand off of the Stardust Synchron this Arrive in Light. They're then going to go for the... It's not really a Synchro summon, but they go for Ultima Zolkin, which then will special summon out a Power Tool Dragon. Power Tool and the level 1 make an 8, and they go for Karakuri Steel Shogun Burrito, which is going to then special summon a monster from the deck. They're going to add Junk Converter as well off of the Jet Synchron. Then they are going to go for, with the Kunam Zam and the 4, into Stellar Wind Wolf Rayet, which this card is rather interesting, so I'm going to talk about it for a second. What this card does is when it has 4,000 or more attack, you can shuffle both this card and all monsters your opponent controls into the deck. This card's really good because it gains attack based on how many monster effects you activate. So after five activations of monster effects, it becomes 4,000. However, it capped out at 4,000. They're going to activate the effect of Ascension Sky Dragon to just increase its attack, and then Floor Synchron is going to special summon out the Junk Converter. They're going to gain a bit of attack, and then gain a bit more of attack, and then they will go for a 5 of Garden Rose Maiden. Garden Rose Maiden is going to add a Black Garden to their hand, and then Junk Converter is going to special summon. Again, most of this is just to facilitate specifically levels, as well as they are to facilitate this card in particular, which allows them to just continually boost it up. So yeah, as you can see, it's one activation away. So they are going to then activate Arrive in Light, and the reason they do this is to stack the deck for their Converging Wills Dragon. This card can special summon itself when it is drawn. So they are going to activate the effect to draw a card since a card was synchro summoned, and then special summon out the Majestic Dragon, and then special summon out the Barotar. So they're going to now be at 4K, so this card's not going to activate anymore. They're going to add a Majestic Dragon here, and then go into shooting Majestic Star Dragon with their 10 and their 1 tuner. They're then going to tribute a monster in order to special summon back the Stardust Synchron, and then go for another 5 of Excel Synchron. They're going to activate the effect in order to special summon a tuner from their hand, which is the Majestic Dragon. They're then going to send to the graveyard a level 3 to modulate the level of this guy to a level 2, allowing them to go for another 10 of Shooting Star Dragon. Then, with the Majestic Dragon as well as the Shooting Star Dragon, they will go into Shooting Majestic Star Dragon, which, let me actually talk about this guy. I don't think I mentioned this. He has an Omni Negate as well as a negate of an effect monster. So, you negate an effect monster, and then you banish this card as an Omni Negate. And he's got 2 of those, and they're not hard once per turns. So he has basically 2 Omni Negates as well as 2 effect monster negates. And then he just special summons out another Stardust Dragon. He's going to special summon out another level 2. And then he goes for a Baron. So that's 3 Omni Negates, on top of the fact that this guy shuffles back a whole bunch of cards, as well as the Monster Reborn, which is then going to special summon out the Shooting Star Dragon, which is it's kind of like Stardust as well as an attack negation. So it can negate 1 attack on top of the fact that it protects much like a Stardust Dragon would. So, how am I going to out this? Well, turns out I already have the out in Forbidden Droplets. I activate Forbidden Droplets, pitch my entire hand, and we're good to go. So I'm going to activate this Reinforcement of the Army. They actually don't activate anything here, which is good because, yeah, that means we get our Reinforcement of the Army, and we are able to search out the Junk Synchron. We're going to send everything to the graveyard with our Forbidden Droplets, and we will add 1 singular card while negating all of the problematic cards. Junk Synchron. Now we can begin. Junk Synchron special summon out the Doppel Warrior. Doppel Warrior's effect, when it is sent to the graveyard, will give us 2 non-tuner level 1 tokens, which is very, very important. And on top of that, it will also chain block our Junk Speeder. So if they did have Ash Blossom in their hand, we would still be protected. Pretty pog. They are going to be able to draw a card since we did Synchro Summon I think it's like a Junk or Stardust or something like that. Anyway, we are going to special summon out 3 monsters here. We are going to special summon out the Stardust Synchron, the Junk Synchron, and the Jet Synchron. All of these are just the best levels that we can get. So we're going to immediately go into GG Hyper Librarian, and then we will go for Formula Synchron. That's a pot of greed, sir. So we are going to draw 1 and then draw another one off of the effects here. So we draw Tuning, and then we draw a Doppel Warrior. I'm going to activate Tuning to search out our Stardust Synchron, and then send a card to the graveyard. We will then go for our Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon here, which they will try and negate, which is kind of funny. But yeah, we're just going to GG Hyper Librarian to draw a card. We actually draw a Junk Converter, which is very nice. We're going to special summon from the grave our Stardust Synchron in order to special summon this Doppel Warrior that we drew from our hand. And then the Stardust Synchron will banish itself. It does require a tribute, so we did tribute off the Formula Synchron, which we wouldn't have done anything with. We're going to draw another card off of this Stardust Charge Warrior and the TG Hyper Librarian, which is another pot of greed. On top of that, we're going to special summon out 2 more non-tuner monsters. So we kind of need something very good off of these draws. We draw Cyber Synchro and Monster Reborn. Really, really solid. However, we did have Destrudo in the graveyard, so we are going to go for Destrudo, and then we will special summon out the Martial Metal Marcher using the 2 tokens. That's what they're called. We're going to draw another card and then special summon a monster off of Martial Metal Marcher. I guess that's reverse. Special summon and then draw a card. So we draw into Maxi, which is very funny. We go into the Chaos Ruler here, and then we will activate the effect and reveal Ash Blossom, Nibiru, Tuning, Caliga Claw Crow, and Caliga Claw Crow. We're going to add the Caliga Claw Crow in order to special summon it, and then we can go for a Baron de Fleur. So we are then going to special summon out our Chaos Ruler here by banishing a Light and Dark. Then we are going to activate our Baron to pop a card. They are going to bring back their Brotar, which we will promptly negate their effect. Just no, you don't get anything. Thank you. It banishes itself. And then we will activate our Jet Synchron. Jet Synchron will then allow us to go into Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. We then have our own Monster Reborn, and since I did end up popping their Shooting Majestic Star Dragon, we will be able to special summon it to our side of the field. At this point, we have pretty much lethal. So what I'm going to do is I actually negated the effect of the Shooting Star Dragon. However, I'm actually going to negate it with the Crystal Wing because that allows us to increase this guy's attack by quite a significant margin. So I'm actually going to negate and destroy, which then makes this guy very big, and then we attack in for 6,300 damage, and then with his own monster, the Shooting Majestic Star Dragon, we attack it over the other one and deal lethal damage. That was off of 1 normal summon. There you go. Good game. Alright, so here we are in Duel 2, and I'm only going to do 2 of these replays because they're kind of long, just given how long the combo itself takes. But we are up against Adamancipator, which is pretty scary. So let's see how we do against them. Again, this is a viewer in one of the duel rooms. So we're going to start by activating our Synchro Overtake in order to special summon out Junk Synchron. We have Doppel Warrior in our hand, so that will be our normal summon. We're going to normal summon it and then immediately go into our Junk Speeder. Junk Speeder effect will activate and Doppel Warrior will activate, so we are going to clog our field with a whole bunch of monsters, including some tokens. Ignore this Doppel token, the one that was already there. I have no idea why that's there. It's just a visual glitch. It's not actually there. So we're going to go for our TG Hyper Librarian off of the 4 and the level 1 token, and then we will go for a level 2 in Formula Synchron. We will draw 2 cards. That's a Pot of Greed, yes sir. And seeing as how we already have Called by the Grave, I don't feel too worried about it. So yeah, we're going to add it to our hand a Junk Synchron. Now, this is a big mistake from me. So, real quick, if you don't know, Jet Synchron, when it's used as Synchro material, can add a Junk monster from your deck to your hand, but that does lock it out of the ability to special summon itself by discarding a card. So, I have now locked myself out of a level 1 tuner, which does come up quite a bit. Also, I think I'm playing a different extra deck, so that may come up. But we go for a level 8 here, using our level 5 and the level 3 in order to go for our Chaos Ruler. Chaos Ruler's effect is going to activate. We're going to reveal a whole bunch of cards and add 1 to our hand. We revealed the Caliga Crow, which is very, very nice. So we are going to reveal a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to add to our hand the Caliga Crow. Then send the rest to the graveyard and draw a second Caliga Crow. We're then going to go for a 10 of Baron de Fleur, and then I realize, if only I had had a level 1. Had I a level 1, I could have gone and special it out, and then I would have had 8 stars on the field, so I could link or synchro off with the TG Hyper Librarian, the Caliga Crow, and the level 1 Jet Synchron, in order to special summon out a level 8, which would have given me 2 Omni Negates, as well as the 2 Called by the Graves, the Forbidden Droplets, and then the additional follow-up on the next turn. But alas, I am dumb and don't do that, because we had already activated Jet Synchron already. But I'm going to activate these 2 tunings because it's funny. We're going to send some things to the graveyard. We're going to then special summon out our level 8 monster here. Again, I could have also gone for the level 8 and then gone for a, special summon out the Jet Synchron. And then I could have gone for a 9 as well. Either way, it's not the greatest, but hey, it's something. So we have the 2 Called by as well as the Forbidden Droplets here. So they're going to normal summon their Block Golem, and then they're going to special summon both Adamancipators that they have here. Now, this is a rather large mistake from them because of the fact that I have Forbidden Droplets. They should have realistically just specialed one, activated its effect, and then specialed another to activate its effect. I don't know why they did this the way that they did, but sure. They also drew another Block Dragon, which is kind of funny. So there's that. I'm going to activate Forbidden Droplets here. We're going to pitch ourselves the Floor Synchron as well as the Stardust Synchron and negate both of the Adamantipator's effects so they don't get anything here. They are going to go for the Gashilnadon, which is kind of funny, and I get a draw card off of that. Then they are going to go for Zeta here. This may not be the best of decks, but I will say that the Adamantipator deck is probably the best when it comes to a Synchro-only event, so do keep that in mind. I'm going to activate the Baron to negate the Zeta that they ended up special summoning, and yeah, we'll just proceed from here, because at this point it's pretty much over. They're going to actually Raigeki our board, which I have no more Omni Negates, so there's that. And then they're going to banish everything to go for Block Dragon. I couldn't have even, you know, I couldn't have banished a Block Dragon because, again, it's banished, so I couldn't even activate anything at this point. But given the fact that that's all that they have, I basically have lethal. So, what's going to happen is I'm going to normal summon the Junk Synchron, special summon out the Double Warrior, and then go for another 5. Here's where we get to special summon out the Junk Warrior, which is actually very nice because Junk Warrior is going to get a bit of a boost up to 3100 because of these Doppel tokens. They do have attack and defense, which is kind of interesting. So we're now at 3100. We're going to special summon out this Stardust Synchron and then special summon out the Kaliga Crow, which gives us quite a bit of stars. We actually drew Synchro Overtake, so we're going to special summon out the Jet Synchron from the grave, which means that we haven't used its effect, meaning we can still use that later. We're going to go for the Martial Metal Marcher here, and we are going to special summon out the Junk Synchron. We can then go with the Junk Synchron and the Junk Warrior into a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Then we will go for with the Martial Metal Marcher as well as the token into a Herald of Arclight. I can't really continue from here. There isn't really much more that I can do, but at the very least we are able to deal with the Block Dragon very effectively. So I'm going to walk over, deal 3000 damage, and then negate the activated effect of the Block Dragon, meaning that they have to top deck something here. And given the fact that Adamantipator's aren't really the best when it comes to top decks, I think we've got this in the bag, given the fact that we have we have a monster effect negate as well as an Omni negate and 2 called buys. I think this is pretty much over. They realize the writing on the wall, and we are going to walk in and take the game. So, all in all, I think this deck is very good. It will definitely allow you to climb to even Plat 1 in Ranked, as well as you will get all of the gems that you need from the Synchro event. It is rather expensive, as you can see. There is a lot of URs that we are playing, and in all honesty, I could even be playing more, but I'm poor, so we're not. But all in all, it's a very fun deck. It's a lot of varied lines. It's mostly figuring out math, you know, 3 plus 5 equals 8. 2 plus 3 equals 5. It's a lot of stuff like that. And all in all, I love the deck. I think it's very fun. This is my favorite Synchro deck of all time, and honestly, one of my favorite archetypes of all time, right up there with Dark Lords and Ritual Beasts. So, that's the deck. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much appreciated, and if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh!, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.